Ladies and gentlemen, very excited to have this next guest on the show once again. Coming off a huge win a couple weeks ago in the UFC against Jimmy Crute. We were talking about the man fighting out of my home state of Michigan, although originally from Chicago, Mr. Jamahal Hill. And welcome back to the show. Did I catch that originally from Chicago part? That's right, right?
I am. I'm born in Chicago. I was born in Cook County Hospital.
There you go, man. And now you're fighting out of Michigan and representing Detroit and the Detroit Fighting Spirit. So let's talk about that.
No,
No, you're not. What are you?
Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids. There we go.
Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Do you remember which president before you were born was from Grand Rapids?
Ford.
There you go. Nice.
It's only been one.
That's right. That is true. one president in history out of Grand Rapids, Gerald Ford. He was interesting, and how he got in was very unique. He didn't get elected, but the man before him, Richard Nixon, resigned before an impeachment, and then Gerald Ford came in. But he was a unique dude. But let me talk about some fights, Jamal. So
Wait, wait. Since we're doing trivia, we're not just going to jump past the trivia.
Okay, you got some trivia for me?
How many champions are from Grand Rapids?
Damn, are we talking about only MMA or
Combat sports.
in combat sports? Oh man.
Combat sports champions are from Grand Rapids.
Well, I think I'm looking at a future champion right now. Yeah, right. But I give up. What's the answer, man?
I like that answer.
Good,
that was
good. But
I thought you had all the facts. I didn't really have an answer. I thought you had.
Oh man, I wish I did. But you know what? I got to say this.
No,
though.
I think there's four.
Really?
Floyd, Peter Quillen,
All right.
Buster Douglas. I know I'm forgetting one.
You could be right. Although
five if you include me.
There we go. Exactly. Now Buster Douglas, I thought he was representing our rivals over in Ohio. I thought he was over there somewhere in Ohio. Buster Douglas.
Listen, Buster Douglas was.
He was Ohio. I'm pretty sure.
Hearns is from Detroit, right?
Yeah. Who is?
Hearns is from Detroit.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, absolutely. Tommy Hearns was 100% Detroit.
So who was the one? He was a heavyweight.
Out of Detroit in boxing?
He's like, yeah, he was a boxer. He's a heavyweight or something.
Well, Joe Louis many years ago was a guy who was raised in Detroit, and he was one of the greatest heavyweight champions ever. So if you think about that, yeah, Joe Louis back in the day, he was actually born in Alabama, but he was raised in Detroit. I had a great uncle that did some training with him. Great uncle back in the day that did some boxing training with Joe Louis out of Detroit. So I had several uncles that did some boxing. One of them got to be ranked in the top 10 like 60 years ago. So I got it in my blood. I never stepped forward and did it like you, but I always enjoyed training and getting in shape, being able to defend myself. So let's talk some fights here, man. I'm super impressed with that.
Before we talk fights,
you got
something? Leaving my mom's house. She wanted me to show y'all her door.
Let's see what we got.
So y'all can check out the door.
I love it.
Got the upside down Santa's coming down the
beautiful
chimney.
That's awesome. I love that. Good. Nice. Good stuff. Tell your mom I like it. You got to have the holiday spirit with some humor. I appreciate that.
Come on, baby.
So are you back in Chicago now? Or has your mom moved over to Michigan where you train?
No, I'm not in Chicago. I'm up with my mom. I ain't gonna lie. I actually this interview actually slipped my mind. My daughter had a basketball game, so I just left. I'm just leaving that.
Oh man. I understand that can happen. I appreciate you still jumping in, man. And there's
my daughter.
There. Hey, how you doing? You say she's got.
Don't want to be on camera.
I hear you. Well, it looks like she's getting the athleticism from you. It looks like that's running in the family, huh?
For sure.
All right, cool. So it looks like you're out in a parking lot or something now.
Yeah, my bad, bro.
That's cool, man. All right, so Jamal, let's talk some fights here, man. I always appreciate chopping it up with you, but fights. So we're excited in that last fight against Jimmy Crute. You were the underdog, and that was a very important fight. I mean, you were still in a good position, and you had a few wins, but you had a loss in the previous fight. And so going into this fight with Jimmy Crute, what was on your mind? I know you really wanted to get back on the winning track, but so did Jimmy Crute. And what was your thought about what he brought, and what was your feeling about how important a victory was in that fight?
I knew Jimmy was tough, and I knew he was a solid challenge. Like more so for me, it was just getting back in the win column, bro. Getting back on track. You know what I mean? Flushing last fight and getting back focused on what I do. You know what I mean? And Yeah, just getting back to that. I've been dominating my entire career.
Yep.
I had one slip, so it was just completely about getting back to that, being myself. Not I didn't like I said before my fight, I had nothing to prove. I went into my fight before thinking I had something to prove. I was undefeated. I had nothing to prove. All I had to do was just keep being myself.
Absolutely. I like that. So, Jimmy, obviously what people were thinking is in a good case scenario, you touch him up on the feet. But in a bad case scenario for you or in a good case scenario for him, they were thinking maybe he could get you on the ground and get on top and try to start making you think it was a deja vu, and getting into a submission grappling exchange. And then that didn't happen, and you caught him before he could do that. But did it seem to you like he was okay with just standing and trading, or did it seem like he was about ready to jump in and try to get it to the ground?
He was shooting.
Yeah. Okay.
He was shooting. When I caught him. He was trying to time. He was trying to time my jab and slip under the jab.
Okay.
Which is why it was the result that it was, because whenever we backed up, I found the range, controlled it. Because I felt comfortable with it, I sold the feint of the jab. It was very quick and very subtle. I sold the jab, and when he bought the jab, he bought to go slip under, and that was when the check hook came.
Nice. And did you train that with your team? I would imagine so.
Yeah, I train everything. So like with me, I don't go into one thing and be like, oh, he does like oh, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna look for this, or this is what I'm gonna look for. I sharpen all my tools so they're always ready whenever that opportunity opens is there, because the opportunity can present itself on the dime, you know, in a split second in the midst of a fight. You can see an opening. Oh, he made this little mistake right here,
Mm-hmm.
and if all my tools need to be ready to take care to take advantage when that happens. If he drops his hand here, my hook needs to be sharp at all times. If he drops his hand here, my straight needs to be straight. It needs to be sharp at all times. Uppercut needs to be ready. The check hook needs to be ready.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Whatever.
Absolutely. So after that fight, you were definitely fired up. Would you say the feeling was more of a relief, or more happiness, or more just glad to get it over with, or what?
Validation. There's validation. Like you still him. You still that guy. You know, that last fight meant nothing. The last, like, everything that I felt like was that I did wrong to end in that result was exactly that. So, I got that validation as well. So, I learned. I just grew. I just grew and became better. I'm more
Absolutely.
dangerous than ever.
Absolutely, I agree. Now, are you looking at different opponents for your next fight, or are you someone that would really love to run it back with the guy that put that loss on your record?
Obviously, when it comes to what I like, I'd like to fight Paul and get that fight back at some point. Well, like right now, obviously, if it's the fight, one thing UFC gonna say, I've never turned down a fight.
Right.
Every fight that they've offered me, from when they offered me number 10 in the world when I wasn't ranked till now, I've never turned down a fight. So if they put his name out there, I would take it.
Nice.
But I feel that Paul deserves to move on. You know, he's put together a nice streak. He's added me to the list along with Shogun and Eagle-Eye and a couple other guys. So yeah, he deserves to move on. You know what I mean? If I was in a position, I'd want to move on.
Right.
So I'm not gonna try to hold. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna try to hold that up. I want him to keep winning. I want Paul to go through and dominate everybody. So the next time we do get back to that rematch, it's for some serious marbles.
Absolutely. You could definitely see him down the line. That makes a lot of sense. Did you do more practicing on your grappling for the Jimmy Crute fight after the Paul fight? You did not.
No, I did, because I train everything.
Okay.
Like, what was more grappling? Like, I wake up in the morning 9 o'clock, from 9 to 10:30. I'm doing jujitsu.
Nice.
Then I do an hour of striking. I go to strength and conditioning. Then I'm back doing jujitsu for an hour, 2 hours. And then I do striking again. So what more grappling am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to take off an hour of striking in it and just add more, overload more jujitsu onto that? No, I work my game religiously all well round. Just because something goes wrong, things go wrong.
Yep.
That doesn't mean I throw out everything that I've been doing for the last almost 12 years that's had me undefeated.
Yep. I agree 100%. That's a good answer. So talk to me a little bit about the landscape at light heavyweight. You got Glover Teixeira coming off that great win. I don't know why people didn't see it, but I saw that fight and felt that
I
he
called
had.
that.
You got that too?
I called that.
Nice. He's a tough old dude, Glover, man, and at 42, and
It's
when it
gritty.
he really is, he really is, and when it gets to be the heavier weights, guys have a longer shelf life. Like you could fight 15 more years up at your weight, or if you eventually go to heavyweight. Speaking of which, and then let's jump back into light heavyweight. Do you see yourself 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now at heavyweight, or do you feel you could put in your career all at light heavyweight?
I mean, it all depends. It all depends. I've fought heavyweight before, but like right now, I think light heavyweight has some good new blood in it. It's a good opening. It's a good opening. Star can be made. A king of dominance, of longevity needs to be established
Mm-hmm.
in this weight class. I feel like, and I feel like I could be that, as well as maybe take a page out of the Daniel Cormier chapter, double champ.
Yep.
Who knows? You know what I mean? Maybe you want to do something crazy, triple champ. Who knows?
Right. I love that. I love that. Now, my feeling is the light heavyweight division and the heavyweight division in the UFC are not as stacked and as deep as some of the other divisions. I'm not saying they don't have talented people in it, but I feel like you're in a good position, whereas someone in your position at, say, like lightweight or featherweight, they could be waiting like 3 years before they get in the mix. But I feel like you're probably really maybe one more win away from really being in the mix with a bunch of these top guys. And I would imagine you would agree, or do you think you might have to get a couple more?
Yeah, no, I feel like I already feel like I'm in that mix.
Mm-hmm.
Just based off of, but I feel like I'm in that mix just based off of my skills and who I am and what I've already shown, what I'm showing that I can do
Right.
and I'm capable of. Some of the divisions I think they have more well-known names just because of the simple fact of I don't know, bro. Honestly, I think it's the weight thing. They're able to fight. They're able to fight more often.
Right.
They're able to fight more often. They only have to cut maybe 15, 20 pounds. Where somewhere you got a guy at light heavyweight that could be anywhere from 30 to 40 pounds heavy.
That's true.
And so that's I think that plays a huge factor into it.
You could be right, because those guys can come in on 2 weeks' notice because they're only maybe within striking distance, 12 pounds of their weight. It makes sense. But looking at the guys that are at light heavyweight, we got yourself, we got Paul Craig, we got Alexander Rakic, we got Anthony Smith, we got Glover, we got Jan Blachowicz, that other crazy guy, Yuri Prochnovska, right. And is there anyone else you can think of that's up there? Am I forgetting anyone else? I think it's mostly like 5 and.
Like it depends on what the criteria that we talking about for them to meet. Like
Right.
as far as potential stars,
Mm-hmm.
so we talking like superstars like that, like on an Alasanya, maybe a Chimaev,
Right.
level like type deal. In my weight class, the only people I see like that truly is
Ankalaev. I forgot Ankalaev, right? Also.
Ankalaev. I think Ankalaev can be that just because of where he's from.
Right.
And he does have he is a very good and talented fighter. But I believe I don't know, bro. This like you gotta have a certain type of personality and a certain swag to yourself too.
Right.
I don't my man's kind of dull,
Yeah.
nothing personal with
Right.
him. I don't
Right.
really get it. I'm not really drawn in to his personality like that.
Right.
You know?
Right. You mean Ankalaev? Yeah, it's harder when the people can't speak English that well. That does
Yeah.
make it harder for sure. And if they're low key, not.
Sometimes those usually are the funniest, coolest dudes.
That's true. If you can communicate with them, I heard that, right? If they can they learn a few words in English. Yeah, some of those guys really are fun.
And
and
pretty
fun.
much all the dudes I've met from the UK are fucking funny as shit.
Yeah,
They're
yeah. That is true. I've always loved that UK humor, man. They have a dry wit. Like you should watch some of their comedies, man. Their comedies are funny as hell because they got yeah, dude, you're right. They got that dry
Attack
wit.
The block.
Right.
Attack the block. I watch that shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Dickens, bro.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. Some funny stuff. Those guys got the humor down. So so many of these fights, man, since you have that striking and that exciting style, there's a lot of these guys we mentioned would be fun fights with you. Yuri, man, that would be a crazy
Yeah, I
fight with
think
you.
Yuri, but like I was saying, though, I think Yuri's one of them. I think Yuri, ain't gonna lie, and then me.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Other than that, like, you know what I mean? Like, I think on a respect level, I think Glover could get there with a nice run,
yep,
just on a respect level, because everybody loves and respects Glover so much.
yep,
Just, you know what I mean? Just because he's showing us other possibilities. You
right,
know what I mean? He's blazing a trail like that, showing you other possibilities. You're gonna love that.
right.
Yeah,
What about sorry to interrupt your flow, man, but what about William Knight? What do you think of that guy? That guy's like a tank of a man, isn't he?
Williams a cool dude, bro.
You
You know
know
what I mean?
him?
He's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know him. But from his first eye, from his interviews, for how he speaks, he's a cool dude. We actually fought. We just fought on the same card, so I seen him. I mean, he's a respectful guy. He carries himself well. But bro, like skill, we do like I pay attention to the skill. I understand fighting. I understand skill on a certain level.
Right.
You know what I mean? My man's ain't he's strong as shit. That's it. Once
Yeah.
he get up there with the talented people that actually know, like me, like can you imagine me? What do you think would happen in the fight with me and Willie Mack?
Yeah, you'd touch him up. It's just it
And
look
he could be, and I'm gonna be real, and I'm just being 100. I'm not trying to diss. I'm not trying to be like, oh no, type of nothing like that.
no.
I'm just
Right.
being 100% real.
Yep.
We fight in the same weight class. If
Yep.
you really feel some type of way, you know what I'm saying? Work your way like I have. And you know what I mean? I have no problem showing you exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Could you imagine him versus me?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that wouldn't even be close.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
I think you're right. Yeah, just the size and the reach, you know. I mean, like a lot of people look at a guy like that with all the muscles he has and says he doesn't even really have like necessarily a fighter's body. He has almost like a bodybuilder's
No.
type of body.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
he probably should be down at 185. What do you think?
Man, bro, I seen him, bro. He's short, bro. He's short. Don't get me wrong. He's diesel as shit. But the thing about those big ass muscles, it take a lot of oxygen to move those muscles.
Right, right. You just don't really
A whole lot of oxygen to move those muscles.
exactly. You just don't really see a guy that thick, you know, making it that
I mean?
far. But it's interesting because he's athletic. He's got some kicks too and stuff. He's a trip. He's a unique dude. You know.
He's very athletic.
Yeah.
I agree. He is athletic. He does have some tricks. But when it comes in, I'm just saying, bro, I understand this shit on a different level.
Yeah.
Like the science behind fighting, about how you attack somebody, how you break somebody down in a fight.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what game plan can he come up with to beat somebody like me?
Right.
You know what I mean?
It would
Guys try to grab me. Besides try to grab me, hope he can do it. But here's the thing about that. His grappling ain't his skill is that strength goes away at the simple fact of I'm a more skilled grappler than he is.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that just kind of just brushes, or it just kind of puts him in a bad spot, bro.
Yeah. No, I agree.
You know
I agree.
and I think a lot of it has to do with him being a late bloomer. Like, when did he start doing MMA?
You're right. It was late because I think he's like 34 or something right now.
You know what I'm saying? He started doing it late, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's certain reflexes, certain natural feels and abilities and things that me and other fighters like you know what I mean, that have been doing, that'll have that he won't be able to match.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
I have certain go-tos. I have certain things that are built into my instinct, built to my memory, to where as soon as I see it, I know exactly what to do.
Right.
Exactly how to react.
Right. Right.
I don't see that when he fights.
No, you're right.
You know what I mean?
It does. You're right. It doesn't look so smooth. It does look a little choppy. It looks like he's more reacting and then trying to use strength. Like that fight with Menefield was interesting because they were both kind of tanks.
He didn't win that fight.
You felt Menefield beat him? Yeah.
Hell yeah, Menefield won that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every single person that I was with that saw that and saw the end of that fight was like, how the fuck did he win?
Yeah, it was close. It was interesting because both of them were like tanks, but Williams even more of a tank than Alonzo.
Sure.
You know, and so that was an interesting fight. But so let's look at what's coming up. So next for Glover, it's either be Yuri or Rakic. Who would you think would deserve it?
I mean, both have a case, I guess. Me personally, I think it should be Rakic, just because Rakic has been here longer. Who's had the most success at this weight? Who's done? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who's done the more things to put yourself in championship position?
Right.
I think that's Rakic. Yuri came in and beat two guys that were on losing streaks.
Right. That's true. I agree that everyone's talking about him. But so let's say if it's Glover versus Rakic, is Jan fighting someone? Did you hear Jan signed up? I almost thought I hear Jan.
I haven't heard anything.
So all right. So if it's Glover or Rakic, then maybe they might put Jan against Yuri. They're both from Poland, I think. So they probably wouldn't necessarily like to fight each other as countrymen.
I thought Yuri had a fight.
Does he? Who would it be though? Who would it be?
Dude, that just you got your laptop handy right now?
Let's take a look. Do you want to see if one of my producers can pull up a Yuri Prokofska?
No, not Yuri. Jan.
Jan. Okay, Jan Blachowicz. Jan, and it's spelled BLACHOWICZ. Yeah, let's see if anyone can find on SureDog.
In fact, he's fighting Rakic.
Wait, Jan is fighting Rakic? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jan's fighting Rakic.
I thought he had something signed, but I wasn't sure. Okay, so if that's the case, then that means they're probably going to be giving Yuri to Glover. Okay. And so
but goes back to what I was saying about who has the star ability.
That's it. And
man, it's Jan. It's Yuri.
Yuri,
it's
absolutely.
Yuri.
How
Because while Jan was champion, his stock, honestly, how much did his stock really go up?
Not a lot.
You know what I'm saying?
And he kind of started a little bit later, but one of the things with Jan is he spent so many years outside the UFC. Like I remember reading about his name,
getting experience.
Right. But then,
no matter how going through a camp,
yep,
getting locked in that cage,
yep,
is something you have to get used to.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's true. The only unfortunate thing
about my comfortability, it's not like he just got thrown in. I've been fighting since 2010.
Right, exactly. You could tell right when you came in, you had the experience, and it's a good thing. The only problem with Jan is you could say he spent so many years getting so many fights outside the UFC. I think he was almost like 31 or 2 by the time he got in the UFC, which is not that old, but
that much older than I was when I got here. Shit, I was 28.
Okay, well, but still 3 or 4 years. Those are key years. Yeah. Although, right, and now though, by the time he started getting a lot of action and play, I mean, he got that title. You can never take that away from him. But
absolutely
right.
Not. He is a champion.
You're right.
He'll forever be a champion.
Exactly. But he may not have that many years left because of his age, and people have only heard of him for the last 3 years. So it is what it is. But I think you got.
What is he? 37?
He is like 37, almost 38.
How old is he? All right, and how old is the guy that just took him out?
You're right. That's true.
Like I said, bro. Yep. Glover just taught us. He taught us something, bro.
Yeah, and you're right about that. Yeah.
We can ignore that. We cannot ignore that.
It is really
true. And
not
only that, before him, and we had Randy. Let's not forget about what Randy Couture did at the age of 46.
Oh yeah,
something years old.
And then you had Dan Henderson in there. It's true. No, you're right about that. You're right, and it's funny because I'm an older guy myself, so I'm always embracing the older guys. So I'm with you on that.
You realize that you got older, but truly,
right?
Until you actually think about it in moments, do you really feel any older than you was 30?
I mean, for my, I'm telling you, I'm going to say I'm a little older than that, but I don't feel that much different than 10 years ago. You're right. I really don't. I do. I feel like I can still move.
You just notice little things. I think what main thing that you notice is interest.
Yeah.
You start to lose your interest shifts.
Right.
Certain different things. You start to learn a little bit something different about yourself, a little bit more about yourself.
Right. Kind of like in that Amanda Nunes fight, man. I mean, that was such a weird fight because, right? No one thought by past performances that Juliana Pena was going to do anything with Amanda Nunes. But the Amanda Nunes that showed up, it really looks like she was thinking, you know what, I got money, I've got this daughter now.
I don't think it was that.
What do you think it was?
I don't think it was that. I recognized it right when I saw it.
Tell me.
She thought she all she had to do was show up.
Right.
She felt that's what it is. It's like people you can't really take it much more past that. I take it just as that. She felt like all she had to do was show up.
Right. So it was like the Mike Tyson Buster Douglas from 30 years ago, pretty much, right?
It was like me. It was like me versus Paul Craig.
Right. You thought you touched this guy and
Same
he's
thing.
out.
That's why I recognized it right when I saw it.
Right.
It was the same thing. It was chickens.
Yeah.
It was air. Everything she did was air. You got hit, and rather than do everything that you've been taught, all right, when you get hit, adjust, sit back, think, and like, nah, fuck that. I'm going to hit you harder. You can't hit harder than I can. All I got to do is hit you. You're going to break before me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that wasn't the case. But she put that work in, and she came ready.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me, and this goes way back to before you were born, but the Mike Tyson Buster Douglas fight back in 1990 in Japan. Mike Tyson was 24 years old. He had been crushing everyone. Buster Douglas was like a 30-year-old kind of underachiever type of guy who would constantly gas out because he didn't train. And they thought, like, you're right, Mike felt this was a fight against a tomato can. Like they were going to bring this guy in there.
He ate for him.
Say again?
That's what it was. He hit him. He caught him early. He came out the gate and he got ate one early.
Yep.
And he recovered after
right, that. Exactly. So you're right. I do see that. It does seem like Amanda didn't train. Now, here's the question, though. All of a sudden, a lot of people are doubting Amanda, whereas I kind of am with you. I feel like she comes back and takes care of business, possibly easily. What do you think? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. It was crazy. I was gonna put money on Kane too. Whenever I seen the odds, I'm like, bro, it's a fight, bro.
Exactly.
Certain odds, whenever the odds get too crazy, I gotta just start throwing money on it. Because at the end of the day, it's a fight, bro.
Exactly.
It's a fight.
Exactly.
If you fought before, then emotions is different. Them feelings is different. You know what I'm saying? Anything can happen, bro. Anything can happen.
Yep, it's really true. And now, do you think Juliana Pena, could she admit some of what you and me are talking about here is true? Can she, because everyone's got to have an ego. Fighters got to have an ego and confidence. But do you think Juliana Pena or someone in her position could tell herself, okay, I won the title, I deserve it, but I got to be careful in the rematch because I may have just come up on someone who didn't even prepare for this fight? Or do you think she thinks she beats the best Amanda Nunes ever?
Nah, she can't think like that because if she think like that, she already lost.
Right.
She needs to think like, I'm that bitch who I said I was before this fight. I showed y'all who I am, and I'm going to show y'all fucking again.
Yep.
That's the attitude that she has to have. That's how she has to approach it.
Absolutely. Hey, let me jump on to something else since I was thinking of it. Derek Lewis against Chris Daukaus. Did you expect that fight to go that way?
I mean, I didn't know. I mean, I felt like it could have. You know what I mean? That's a tradition. I mean, how could you not? I mean, how could you be surprised by it? It's traditional Derek Lewis.
Yeah, exactly. Now, let me ask you one thing. In the last few seconds of the fight, when Derek Lewis started rushing in and crowding him and throwing punches, was there something that Chris Daukaus could have done other than throw? Because he isn't.
Absolutely.
What? But he's not a wrestler. What could he? Okay, he needed to start moving. Okay, so
you gotta understand. Because here's the thing: people talk all this lead up into the point. Oh, I understand he's this, and he's that, but I'm this and I'm that.
Right.
Fuck that. More than what you're trying to say, you have to truly understand what you're up against. Yeah. You have to truly understand when you're in a certain amount of danger.
Right.
Him sitting there unloading punches. First off, Derek Lewis picks when he throws his punches.
Right.
So if he's throwing them, he's picked that moment to throw them.
Right.
It's a bad situation.
So the thing that Daukaus possibly wanted to do was just start going sideways on that fence and
get out of there. Okay. Whenever he landed those few shots, whenever he said, all right, you landed those few shots, use those to get the fuck out of there and make him not want to chase you.
Right.
And if he does, make him timid to where, all right, dang, I can land something.
Right.
Like, bro, my mind in fighting works in so many different ways. There's so many different setups. Like, people don't understand, bro. Like, you got to outthink me to beat me.
Right.
That's some hard-ass shit to do.
Right.
I mean, I've been playing chess since I was 5 years old.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? So my ability to think moves ahead. All right, and if he does this, bro, I'm doing that shit from before we even step in.
Absolutely.
I don't go in with a game plan. I don't have a set game plan.
That's important.
Whenever I go into a fight, it's not like, oh, I got to go in and strike with this dude. Oh, I'm gonna go in. I go in and I take the fight how it goes. I react off of what I see, but I'm ready for everything.
I like that. Speaking of, definitely, I appreciate that, man. Sorry to step on your words. Speaking of that, what percentage of fighters do you think go in not having a game plan, being reactive like you, and what percentage of fighters actually have kind of a strict game plan, would you say?
I don't look at it like honestly true. I don't look at it as me being reactive. I look at it as me being on point. I'm just ready. I'm just ready for everything.
All right. But do you think some
I'm
fighters
so locked in?
Right. Do you think some fighters though are locked into a game plan?
Yeah, I think every one of them are, man.
Okay. So you're
I think that's why how sometimes you'll see somebody do something like they'll hit somebody with a good punch or a strike will be working and they don't go back to it.
Right.
They were just feeling in, just going through the motions, bang, throwing a strike because sometimes that's what you do. That's what a fighter looks like and shit like that. He didn't actually, you know what I mean? They weren't actually setting something up to do that. Otherwise, they would have went back to it.
Right.
So many times you see somebody get hit with a clean body shot and then they never touch the body again. It's all fucking head hunt. Right. Why is it whenever somebody hurts somebody with a body shot, instantly they tee off going to the head every time?
Right, because the game plan was not to go to the body, and they just randomly threw something.
Actually, what caused the opening wasn't the head. It was the body.
Right, but because it's not part of their game plan, they don't go back to it.
If I land somewhere on you clean 9 times out of 10, I'm a land there or somewhere on your body that affects that same area.
Absolutely. Speaking of that, did you see that one of the main card women's fights this past Saturday, Sijara Eubanks got caught with that body kick from Melissa Gatto? That was sweet, wasn't it? And that was like what was it? That was like a front teep kick where she got her toes right into the girl's stomach or something.
The ball of her foot. That's exactly how you're supposed to land. Most people don't land front kicks right.
Right.
They push.
Right.
You look at my kicks, I'm not pushing you, bro. When them bitches hit, they hurt.
Yeah. I like those kicks. Yeah. I like those kicks. No, exactly. And why don't we see more of those front kicks like that, man? Because they're effective.
You don't understand the technique.
Right.
A lot of the techniques that you don't see a lot of, you see people do them and they specialize in them. It's because they specialize in a certain technique, a certain movement, and it speaks to them and shit. And that's why they keep doing it. Very few people, very, very few people, fighters, make themselves learn techniques that are uncomfortable.
That makes sense.
They're not used to. You know what I'm saying? Like most dudes that be like, oh, this guy's a great boxer, but if you really look deep into his boxing skills as an all-around punch for punch, he's only got a good left hand. Conor McGregor's got a lot of tricks. He's only got a good left hand. What has he knocked anybody else out with other than the left hand?
Yeah, nothing pretty much. Makes sense.
All straight lefts.
Makes sense. So
because he has a shoulder, so he's got a good setup for the lead uppercut. It's a nice little popper. It's a nice little toucher. It ain't taking you out. You know what I'm saying? His jab ain't taking you out. His hooks aren't taking you out.
Right.
They'll rock you. They hurt, but they're not finishing. I can finish somebody with every single punch that I throw.
That's important, having that finishing ability.
Strike that I throw.
Right.
I can throw all the strikes. Jab, cross, hook, everything with both hands, knees, kicks. I can throw them all. I can throw them all effectively and consistently. That's another thing people don't have is consistency. Consistency, be able to do the same thing over and over. If I'm landing a left hand on you, I'm going to be able to land that same left hand all fucking night. If you don't make an adjustment.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a different level of understanding and IQ. A lot of people don't have. A lot of dudes are just athletic. They're tough. You know what I mean? They're strong. They're fast. They're freaks. But when it comes to that shit between the ears, a lot of them don't have.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's one thing from watching the fight game for many, many years and always training myself in different styles is a lot of people don't have the ability to adjust. And, in fact, I would almost say it's something that really only the best fighters out there do to be able to do that. I said the
best of all time. Generational fighters are the only ones. Like, let's really go down the line and see how many fighters in the UFC history have been able to be like, all right, fuck, I'm losing this fight this way. Let me go to this, implement this different game plan,
right,
and do it and win.
Why
been who?
Yeah. Jon Jones, Demetrius Johnson, maybe, even though he's always winning.
We can break that down in a second. But let's go with that. Jon Jones.
Yeah.
So with Jon Jones.
GSP.
Let's go with
right.
Demetrius Johnson. We go with Anderson Silva.
Right.
GSP.
Guys like that, pretty much. I can't even think too much other guys, you know.
Um, I'll go Stipe. I'll go Stipe in DC as well.
Right, both of them. Yep. Yeah, why is that? I guess is it just the ability to think that clearly under pressure, or is it just that?
Well, now there's a new one. But now there's a new one. Obviously, he hasn't proven himself on the level of any of, but Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane.
That's right. That's right.
Cyril Gane is me as a heavyweight.
That's right. That's right.
Real shit.
Yep. What do you think?
Cyril Gane is me as a heavyweight.
Yeah, so then let's jump into that real quick. Gane against Francis, and they trained together for a few years because you got Francis from Cameroon, but spent several years in France, and then you got Gane from France. And
wait. Let me real quick. Cyril Gane is me as a heavyweight. Just hands, just not as sharp.
There we go. I like it. But he's a unique dude. He's a big, strong dude, and very
special.
technical.
And I'm a fan, and I enjoy watching.
Yeah, and how does that fight with Francis play out in your opinion? Him and Gane and Francis.
Very entertaining. Very entertaining. I think. I think we either gonna be treated to like a very special show, or it's gonna be the typical Francis. Francis touches him and fuck, damn it.
Right.
He got him again.
Yep.
Francis is just an anomaly, bro. That power is an anomaly, dude. It is. Like, we talk about power. He's got that. He's got true, special, unreal anomaly power.
Yeah. Do you think, just to kind of mix it up against Gane and assuming he still has the welterweight champ?
You gonna say what I think you gonna say?
Right? Do you think he may
Hell no,
he's
not shoot on that
he's
man.
okay. He's not gonna do it.
No. He moves too much. He's got a gas tank. He's gonna sprawl. Yeah, you might get him. You might wear him a little bit. But I think Cyril Gane is more composed at holding his gas tank and working his gas tank better than Francis. I don't want to. If it becomes a battle of gas tanks, I think Francis loses that.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Gane is really unique. He's a very tricky and frustrating athlete, and against Gane, they know each other well. I mean, I guess
I'm gonna be real, bro.
Yeah,
I actually want to fight. Cyril Gane.
Yeah, that would be a trip because it's similar styles like that.
I truly want to fight. Cyril. Like, I'm not in this shit just like, oh, I'll try to like beat this guy, fight this guy, be sick, and try to win the title.
Right.
I mean, try to work hard, I'm in this bitch to try to, like, I want to have fun. Yes. I want to enjoy this shit. Yeah. I was going after, I came into this going after Jon Jones because Jon Jones was great. And that challenge of what that meant excites me like I can't explain. You know what I'm saying? I want those challenges. Shit, people talk about like Francis. I mean, maybe one day I move up and Francis is still doing this thing and I fight Francis.
That's
you know what I mean? Just the challenge, bro. The challenge. I truly feel that I'm special, and the only way I can do that and prove that to myself, you know what I mean, but is to go into these challenges.
Absolutely. Assuming you get up there, sorry to step on your words, assuming you get up to heavyweight, what do you think, what weight do you think your first couple fights at heavyweight might be at? Like 230 or something, 235?
Yeah, somewhere in the 230s.
And do you think you would maybe try to maintain around there, or do you think as the years go by you would get bigger?
I don't know, bro, because if I'm fighting that heavyweight, I eat clean, but I'm eating good, bro. How much do you think I weigh in between fights now?
I'm glad you said that because I was just speculating on that. So, I'm good with numbers, man. In fact, I have a skill. I have one of the worst skills in the world. I can guess women's weight almost right on the nose, and I'm wondering how that's ever going to get me anything but trouble. Right? It never usually works out good. But let me see. Let me guess.
Well, it can work out for you just if whatever your initial guess is, trim a little bit off of that.
There we go. Exactly. Exactly. But for men's weight, let me see. And I have an advantage because I know what weight class you fight at. So I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna try to tune in so that I'm within a pound or two here. I'm gonna say that you probably walk around at about I'm gonna say about 228 to 230. No, I'm wrong.
I mean, if I'm relatively staying active and I'm doing something, I'm all right. I can kind of stay around there. Shit, I blow up to around like 240, 245, close to 250.
Oh wow. Okay. So then,
Last fight before I started, I was close to 250.
man. All right. You could be. So you could be. Growing into. You wouldn't have to grow. You could just come in around where you're at.
Where I'm at, just make sure my guys think it's good.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Speaking of which, Jon Jones, man, all this speculation. We know he got in trouble, this and that, but talking about the fighting, I mean, he
Can't talk about the fighting because the motherfucker don't fight.
That's true. He's getting into fights, it seems like, outside the octagon. Yeah, I know. It's a shame, man. It's a shame because he's such a talented guy.
More fights with his girl than he had with, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you hear when?
I'm sorry. I know that's fucked up to make that joke or whatever.
I know.
But you know what I mean? But I'm just saying though, bro, like I'm a fan, bro. I want to see him fighting, bro. I want to see him in action. I mean, we only got so much time on this earth, so much time to do what we do. Yeah. I mean, I feel like we getting wasted at that time of that talent.
Yeah, without a doubt. But yeah, he's looking big. It's looking to me.
Yeah.
It looks to me like he wants to come in at 250 plus.
He wants to be the bigger man. Why?
I don't know.
Why?
It doesn't even make any sense, does it?
Why does he need that?
Yeah.
He was the bigger man every time at light heavyweight. To me, that says something.
That's right. He's trying to have the advantage. Yeah. The tough thing is he's really.
I mean, you need that advantage mentally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like. Yeah.
Because
and back to our hold on, we were talking about skill.
Yeah.
Let's kind of go back to that. And you brought up Jon Jones as far as like all of dudes that can adjust on the fly. I now that I've thought a little more, I do put Jon Jones in that category. Jon Jones is great because of one, physical attributes, his length and his strength.
Right.
2, IQ.
Right.
Jon is highly intelligent.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Especially in a fight. Jon is highly intelligent.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I'm not going to sit back here and I'm not going to act like Jon didn't take away from other guys that he was fighting still with illegal moves, like poking motherfuckers in the eye.
Right.
Sticking his hand. There was a lot of times Jon would have 8 shots, but he gave them a choice. Either you go come in and try to land a shot from a poke and get poked in the eye.
Yeah.
Or you could try to sit back and try to find something else.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna act like he didn't do that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And then
oblique kicks and that.
I get it. The knee stomp is part of that, but the knee stomp is still that technique is not that technique like the knee stomp that he does, the little kick on the knee.
Yeah.
It's a technique. It's cool. It's effective.
Oblique
but it doesn't take any skill.
No.
It's not a skillful move.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
You're basically threatening to blow somebody's knee out.
It's dirty. It's dangerous.
I mean, I have ways that I throw it to where it's actually beating up your leg.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He just throws it to stomp out your knee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To where you physically can't come forward after.
Yeah. Yeah. We saw someone win a fight like that about 6 months ago. I forget. Was it Khalil? That's right. And who did he beat? You remember with that?
Some young kid, bro, new guy.
Yeah, and he just and that's dangerous because that could
bro. I don't know.
But back on that, so you were saying, I don't want to cut your thought off. So with Jon Jones, the stuff he does kind of adds to his ability to improvise and
bro. To me, bro, Jon Jones just came in at the right time, bro. He came in at the right time.
Yeah.
It was the right setting. Everything was perfectly set. Shogun was the champion at the time.
Yeah. It's
true. Wrong, bro. Shogun's a legend, bro. He's tough as fuck, bro. Shogun has never been a skilled fighter.
No. He's just kind of a berserker mode like
Shogun has never been Silva. He's never been skillful.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. And
he's never done anything crisp. He's never done anything clean. He's never done anything sharp.
And he's small.
Even when he won the belt, it was like, wow, that punch actually did something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And he's a small for light heavyweight. He was small too.
Small as shit, dude.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's one thing. And again, not to take away from Jon Jones because he is a sharp guy and a smart guy, but you're right. When he actually jumped in, it was right when MMA was transitioning.
He bullied everybody. He didn't even have to have skill for real.
Exactly.
He was just so fucking big.
Yep.
And his wrestling problems.
It's true. He had the 3 skill sets which a lot of fighters prior to that did not have, and that's why.
He had the most dominant skill set in the game at the time, which was which is wrestling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which honestly, wrestling, because what wrestling does is it gets you used to somebody steady trying to take you down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he's not worried about it. So now what does that allow him to do? Same thing with Mackenzie Dern when she first came in. just throw fucking bombs at people.
Right.
Like
Right.
you don't even have to set up a shot. You can just throw a crazy ass spinning elbow on somebody.
Right. Because you have no
He's just
fear of them
throwing
coming in
elbows
on
at
you.
somebody. He's throwing those shit because he's not worried about anybody shooting on him.
Right.
Because he's been wrestling for forever. So his stand-up wasn't crisp. He didn't have skills. He had physical attributes.
Right.
He had length. He had the longest reach that we've ever seen.
Right. Without a
You know what
doubt.
I'm saying?
And the threat of the takedown, which had people backing off him. And he had some jiu-jitsus too, so people didn't want him on top of them. Yeah, I agree. I really do agree. And I think a lot of that started to be exposed in his fights with Dominic Reyes, his fights with Maheta, you know.
Because, OSP.
Yeah, and OSP, yeah.
Because when you fought OSP, if OSP don't break that forearm, go back and watch that second round. OSP almost knocked him out.
Yeah, it is true. So coming up to heavyweight, he wasn't even a powerful striker at light heavyweight. At heavyweight, he's really not going to be a powerful striker. And so
here's the thing. Well,
what do you think?
Here's where that that can turn. Well, that can turn for him is the fact that he's faster than everybody.
Okay.
So he can set up harder shots.
Right.
He set up and hit somebody harder. You know you got time.
Makes sense. But I think he's going to need to be doing some serious wrestling though at heavyweight, don't you?
Yeah, because you see who he's been working with. He's been working with old boy, like one of the best wrestlers, one of the most decorated wrestlers.
Right, and that makes sense because in light heavyweight he really didn't even have to do that. It was just in his back pocket, right? But now it's going to be flipping the script on that, right?
Oh yeah, Jon Jones gonna have some boring ass fights at heavyweight. I think.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, honestly.
Unless
stylistically matched up, because other than that, it's just gonna be him clenching motherfuckers up, and trying to beat them up in the clinch.
Right.
Just a little hug them, shoulder shrug, little pop shots to the body. You know what I mean? Trying to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That type of shit.
Can he beat some people? Do you think, or might he not even be able to do that?
Yeah, it's fucking Jon Jones.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Just.
Yes, I think he can beat a lot of people. It's just whenever he starts getting up towards that top. All right, like a Derek Lewis. Like Jon Jones versus Derek Lewis, I wouldn't want to watch that fight. That'd be a boring ass fucking fight.
Right.
Because all Jon Jones is gonna do is just front kick to the leg, front kick to the leg, front kick to the leg, front kick to the body.
And then shoot.
At no point is he gonna go in and look for a finish on Derek Lewis.
No, for sure not. Right.
You know what I mean? He might try to shoot, and then he's not even gonna shoot on it.
No.
You know what I mean? He might. I mean, he will sometimes if he has to, if he gets put in that position. But it's just gonna be Derek Lewis trying to set up the perfect shot, and Jon Jones just not giving it to him from either.
Right.
His legs, pushing his hand, poking his hands out, whatever.
Makes sense. And
you know what I'm saying?
Can he? And do you think will Jon Jones be able to keep his cardio? Because his brothers are big, but then his brothers might be having other substances in their body. Who knows? But his brothers are big. They're carrying around 300 plus pounds. Does that mean that Jon be carrying around a lot of weight, or do you think it's going to take a lot of work and he might not be?
I mean, his brothers are different people. Everybody are different people.
Right. That's true.
So you can't just be like, oh, his brother is like this. So in that sense, I'm not gonna. I can't really comment as far as that goes.
Right.
But I will say this: you don't know until you get in there. You get in there with all that extra muscle, all that extra body, and those emotions hit, that anxiety, that all them thoughts and shit. Yeah, bro. Mental is such a huge part of fighting.
Yeah.
It is. Like man, I've gotten in fights back when I was an amateur. I remember one fight I forgot how to throw a fucking punch.
Right.
Not even gonna lie, dude. I was in the fight and I forgot how to throw a punch.
Wow.
And I mean, which a lot of people don't know this shit. Back in the day, whenever I used to get worried about something, I just took you down.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, I just took you down.
Just relied on instinct, and and it worked.
Yeah, I started out in jiu-jitsu.
Right.
When I first walked into the gym, my first time was jiu-jitsu.
Nice.
Jiu-jitsu gym.
Nice. Who are some of the guys that helped make you this good a fighter? Who are some of your training partners, if you want to shout them out, and where's that at again, and the name of any coach?
Training partners, I've had a lot. Hold on, bro.
No problem.
But yeah, as far as training partners, I've had a lot, bro. You know what I mean? I was blessed whenever I first came in. Whenever I first came in, my main training partner was one of my head instructors. It was a small Guatemalan guy named Jorge Surratt.
All right.
A lot of people don't know who Jorge Surratt is, but Jorge's a bad motherfucker, bro.
Nice.
You know what I mean? He used to fuck people. He fought bad. I don't know if you ever heard of Bad News Ben Laggy.
I think it sounds familiar.
dude used the old King of the Fighter, King of the Cage fighter. I think he might have fought for WEC.
Right.
Hermes Franca. You remember Hermes
Very
Franca?
well. I remember Hermes very well. Yeah.
He fought Hermes. Like, bro, he fought some dudes, bro. That was my dude when I walked in, not
Nice.
knowing shit for real.
Nice.
Like that coming off just a dude that didn't been in a lot that just knocked a lot of people out in the street.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I used to go with him. I used to go home every day, fucking bruises in my face.
Yeah.
Just beat the fuck up.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was back every day.
Yep.
My first 8 months of training, I didn't miss a day. I was there 6 days a week.
Nice.
Every day.
Nice. Reminds me of the Marvin Hagler story, the legendary boxer who just passed away.
Run. Ask my coach though. My coach actually put a video about it. Whenever I was on he put it on YouTube. I used to run 5 miles to the gym. He'd be like, "Yo, what's up, bro? How'd you get? You need a ride back home?" I was like, "Nah, I'm good." And I ran home.
Nice. You got a passion for it, man. It seems like you love the grind, huh?
I was just hungry, bro. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to be good.
Yeah.
I wanted to see how good I could be. Martial arts, they wanting to learn martial arts and all of that. That all started for me back whenever I was a kid. It all honestly started with 3 ninjas. I just wanted to see if it was possible for a kid to beat up an adult, like how they were. Multiple. Wonder if I could beat up 30 dudes by myself.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Like.
So you had the
passion, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say you had the passion from a young man. At what age?
And then I had a brother that fed my passion. My brother, my brother Vince, who passed away, who they talked about before the contenders. He fed my passion for martial arts. Just showing me little tricks, showing me like, hey man, check this out, check this scene on this out, check this move. You know what I mean? He gave me like 8 cassette tapes with the whole Dragon Ball Z sagas on it. You know what I mean? Nice. All the shit that I hadn't seen and I wanted to see and stuff. You know what I mean? Just things like that. You know what I mean? I took gems from Dragon Ball Z that I apply to how I approach martial arts now.
I love it. And it's a good brother to have. God bless him. Yeah, man. You got that passion. You're very relaxed and composed in there, man. You're in your element. It's kind of like you could say you were born for this, huh?
Yeah, that's how I got here over all the other sports, man. I'd rather, if I knew, if it was all on me and it's all on my shoulders, I'm with that, bro. I trust myself completely. I believe in myself 1,000%.
Nice. I like it. What's the name of the gym that you train at? And are you staying at one or are you going around to different gyms?
I'm at my gym is Black Lion Academy. You got it blacked out right there.
Nice. And where's that? Outside of Grand Rapids, right?
Yeah, it's just on the outskirts of Grand Rapids.
Right. So if
I also I've been cross. This last camp I did a little cross training. I went down to Sanford. Got some work in with the legendary Henry Hu.
Yeah, man, that's a serious team over there, man. Wow.
They got a lot of good guys down there, bro. And they, you know what I mean? They welcomed me in. They treated me like a brother and shit. And I bonded with some of those guys in the little time that I was down there. And I learned some things. Like, they showed me some things. I got good work in with them. Nice. So I definitely plan on going back.
Nice.
Who
are some of the big guys there in the UFC out of Sanford? My mind is escaping me now. Can you remember some of the big guys you saw there out of Sanford?
That I saw there. I know Usman was there. Chandler was there. Sandhagen was there.
Nice.
Any
guys your size that anyone's heard of over there?
Bobby Lawler was there. They got some bigger guys there that fight that aren't in the UFC. Well, a couple of them are, but they haven't. But they're not they haven't been on they haven't been on the big stage really for long and stuff like that.
You ever
got some good guys. The best work that I got was they had. I keep forgetting. I feel so bad because, bro, this dude, my man was so nice to me.
Right.
He took me he took care of me the whole time I was down there, bro. He made me feel more welcome than anybody. What's the middleweight champion's name for one championship?
Oh, damn. Oh, man.
Didn't know how to pronounce my guy's name.
Oh, wait,
bro.
is it the white guy from Holland or is it
No, he's not white. He's
not Rainer de Ritter.
I believe he's Thai.
Oh man, the middleweight
Thayer something, I forget.
Not Tan Lee, no, because Tan Lee lost, and then Christian Lee was welterweight. Yeah.
Tell one of the producers to pull him up.
Can you guys, anybody here find really quick the one championship middleweight champion? See if anyone can pull that up. One championship, middleweight champion.
Man, bro, I'm so fucking mad. I keep forgetting, bro, how to say bro's name.
We're gonna get it here. We're gonna figure out. So now he brought you out there and was real nice, and then what happened? You had to take it to him in the training, or what were you gonna say?
No, bro. No, I don't take it to people in training, bro.
Cool.
I just try to get work in,
All
try
right.
to learn things. You know what I mean? I don't have nothing to prove, especially in the gym.
No.
You know what I mean? That's why
Good.
you've never seen sparring footage of me. You know what I mean? I don't record while I'm sparring because I don't want no ego to be involved, bro. I don't want you to feel like I'm showing you up. I want you to give me work, and I want to learn, and I want you to learn.
Right, that makes sense. You know what? It turns out you might be thinking of a different division at one, because the middleweight and the light heavyweight champion, both belts being held by that guy Rainer de Ritter, the white guy from Holland. So maybe could it be one weight division below that? Because their welter, I think, is middle. Who's the welterweight champion, Adam? If you could take a look, go back there real quick. Welterweight champion at one. I bet you that's who it's going to be. Adam?
Cameron Abasov?
Cameron Abasov. Does that make sense to you, possibly?
That ain't it.
All right.
I gotta pull my
But
know.
but anyway, it's someone good. So you got good training with him, and
yeah, I got good ass work in with him, bro.
Nice.
Him, and then Ian Gary,
right on. Definitely.
That kid is fucking good, bro.
Good, skillful fighter.
I was trying to tell people before his debut, I'm like, bro, this kid, hey, your boy can fight.
Yep, he proved that. Did you do any talking or any training with Usman over there?
I chopped it up with Usman. He was cool, but Usman's a 170er though.
That's right.
Mix it up.
You know what though? I'm sorry to step on your words, man.
So is Ian though, because which was crazy.
All right.
Like whenever he first walked up, I'm like, he's short. It wasn't until after we sparred and I actually took a look at this kid. I'm like, this dude fights 170?
Right.
6'3".
Wow, that's crazy.
Like, I didn't realize how long and how big he was until he actually started throwing strikes and throwing them from a certain distance.
Right.
Landing.
Right. It's crazy. Yeah, he's long as hell. You know who I was just thinking of? How about Usman's brother? Did you see him out there? Because he's like a light heavyweight or heavyweight, right?
I think I did see him, actually.
He's a strong guy, but he doesn't quite have the skills. What's that? I didn't hear you.
He was training at the time.
But, I wonder if he'll ever be in the UFC. It's funny how you rarely see someone and their brother making it, man. It's always like one brother is always way better than the other brother. You ever notice that? Except for maybe the Diaz brothers. But it seems like it's hard to happen, even though you have like almost identical genetics.
Bro, you said it's like one's way better than the other. I mean, if we looking at it, we compare them in their primes. I say Prime Nick is much better than Prime Nate.
Right. I agree. But at least they were both.
Nick was actually winning. Yeah. Nate's kind of been a roller coaster his whole career.
That's true. Although
Nick had some time where he was dominant.
He did. One of the things, though, I can say about Nate, and I'm not trying to defend him because, I have nothing against him. He's never been my favorite fighter. But no, you're right. No, I know you're not attacking him. But one of the things that Nate had the unfortunate thing to deal with was his weight. Nick was like a solid – he at first was like a solid lightweight, and then he became a solid welterweight. Nate just was even like a smaller frame dude than Nick. Right. And so it became too hard for him to make lightweight, but he was small at welterweight. So I'm not trying to make an excuse for him, but that was always something working a little bit against him that it didn't work against Nick. But still, even if that wasn't the case, Nick still might have been better, But anyway, man, so much action going on, Jamal, and I really want to thank you for jumping on, man. What's the best social media place for people to support you? And if you want to throw out anything you're involved in or any T-shirts or any sponsors, feel free to throw that out.
No, you can always keep up with what I'm doing. I usually post, and I'm pretty active on Instagram. My handle is sweet_dreams_J Hill.
Gosh, it looks like the screen froze. Jamal, you still there with me?
Doesn't look like it.
Jamal, sorry if I lost you, Jamal. Your battery might have been done, but we really appreciate you, man. If you want to jump back in, we'll be free here without another guest for another 10 minutes. But there we go. Can you hear me, Jamal? You froze up there. But so give me the Sweet Dreams again. Sweet Dreams. And
sweet_dreams_J Hill. Then on Twitter, I'm Jamal H. You want to cop some of my Sweet Dreams gear, Sweet Dreams Nation gear, Touch 'em Up University gear, another one of my lines. You can find that at sweetdreams.co. We got stuff on there. Appreciate the support and everything like that. I want to give a shout out to my sponsors over at Lizard Licked Apparel and Next Day Construction. Always having my back, making sure I got what I need to keep on evolving and taking care of myself. Yeah, man, it's a lot of people. Sweet Dreams Nation, man. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate anybody that take time out to watch me and support me. Oh, also, I want to give a special shout out to the 35th aerial. The 35th Aerial Auxiliary Defense Dragon Brigade over in South Korea. It's a very special unit close to me. My cousin is a sergeant over in that unit. These guys been over there for a long time. You know, they miss it home and it's the holiday season. So if anybody can give some love out to our servicemen, you know, for the things that they do, I appreciate that, and I'm sure they do as well.
Absolutely, and I'm with you 100%. Support our servicemen. God bless them, and thank them, servicemen and women out there protecting us and helping keeping our country safe. God bless them. Your cousin out there. Well, Jamal, I really appreciate you, man. You're a unique guy. You give a great interview. You're always real, and we've learned a lot about you and a lot of interesting things about the psyche of a fighter, and that just helps our show and makes us look good. And the fact that you jump on shortly after a win, I really want to thank you, man. I really appreciate your time.
No problem. I appreciate you reaching out, having me on. It's a good talk.
Appreciate it. Well, you got it. We'll talk again soon, my friend. You keep up the good work. Take good care of yourself. Have a very happy holidays and a happy new year.
You too. Thank you.
You got it. And that was Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill over there in Michigan, representing the Midwest, originally from Chicago, now fighting in my home state of Michigan out there in Grand Rapids.